So thank you for watching today's pick a card reading. I've done my shuffling off camera already, and I've prepared 3 decks that are going to represent or reflect 3 different energies that you are either putting forth or you've been manifesting this type of energy in your future. In terms of the people and the situations that you're coming into contact with at the moment. So this is kind of going to be an overall energy reading of what you're currently externalizing from within yourself. So for me, in terms of when I was coming up with the concept for this video, I was thinking how I understand everything to be an energy exchange between people and places, and when you present yourself, your energy is interacting with the people or the concept or the things that you're in contact with when you are in those spaces. So your energy is therefore interacting. And then it's important, I feel like, to understand what energy you bring forward and you let somebody immediately understand about you, because I know there's been studies on how people perceive people within 30 seconds of meeting them, a minute of meeting them, that kind of a thing. And you don't even have to speak to somebody a lot of times to know whether you have a good feeling or a bad feeling about them, or whether you have certain energetic alignments with people. So without further ado, let's get started with pile 1. Okay, pile 1. If you are choosing pile 1, this is your reading of what energy, what impressions you're giving off to people when they first meet you. So today I was called to use the Wild Unknown as a traditional Rider-Waite style tarot, and then an oracle deck, which is the Sacred Geometry Activations, and these will both be linked in my description. So let's flip the cards over. Father of Pentacles. This is somebody who initially, the first thing that I'm getting is you're grounded and you have material abundance about you, whether this be like the brands that you wear or the jewelry that you put on. Something about you says, I have abundance in some way, or I can take care of myself. And not to say that it's like arrogant or to be boastful of what you have, but it is like apparent that you aren't struggling. Like, you're not showing up looking like you're homeless, living on the street, you know? Which I hope is the goal for most people. But in this sense, it's also, there's something unique about you with, I'm being drawn to the rainbow. That like something is specific and it stands out, and this is what people see as a defining characteristic about you. But it's something physical. That's why it's being reflected in Father of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth energy, so something that's actually in your material world that shows up. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, this is really earthy energy. More pentacles. These are all pentacles. So, something that I feel like you may understand intuitively or not is that your physical appearance is very influential to how people understand you. And your physical appearance was gifted to you in order to, reflect that energy that you're meant to be putting forth into the world. So your physical appearance is really important with your life path and the way that you interact with the world. Whereas some people, they could look like, for example, I have a meditation teacher right now he's about 85, 90 years old, and he looks like every other old man who does backpacking. Like, he just wears khakis and like flannel button-up shirt and like doesn't even brush his hair or barely wash his face. But like for him, his outward appearance can be really generic because of the other ways in which his energy is working to transform certain things. But for you, the way that you dress, appear, and take care of yourself is really reflective of the energy that you're in and the energy that you're seeking to push out into the world. There's a certain amount of you that I feel like some people may feel like they don't have access to unless they know you, or like there's a closed off aspect, because this Nine of Pentacles, this is like protection, things being taken care of or purposefully omitted, I'm hearing. It's like people know that they don't just have the right to know things about you, and that's I think why there's like a certain level of intrigue with this like uniqueness that you present. Ace of Pentacles, this is, I feel like what you, more of what you offer to others, or what they view that you offer to them. And it's interesting that this is a target. It almost may feel like there's a target on your back at some points, energetically, for like people who are energy vampires, just people who don't have always the best of intentions with you. Sorry, I just realized this was out of frame. People who don't always have the best of intentions with you, possibly, because they see you as being so grounded, this red color, warm. This is reflected here too. It's like surrounding you is this, the red, the orange, the yellow, leadership, attraction, and a sense of like completeness, and that's also reflected in Father of Pentacles. But then that also may make you this target for people who don't want to help serve you, and you need to be discriminating, I feel like, about who you're letting come in, because I do feel like you are manifesting a lot materially with this, all this earth energy. You don't have to be an earth sign, but there is a lot of your energy that's being put outwards and reflected back to you. So this is where I feel like you're at a point in your life where, or in your journey at least, where you need to be discerning. Who do I let into my personal circle? Who do I allow to know personal things about me? That's really important here with this Nine of Pentacles too. Like keeping your the things that make you happy and the things that you're proud of almost like a secret, but to the right people. I'm not saying like keep these things a secret in general, because it's not healthy to keep everything to yourself, but like discerning, should I share this with this person after class, or is that too much? Or in passing, in the grocery store, like, do I share this thing about my life, or will this possibly come back and be something that I was unhappy with externalizing? And just watching, like being careful about the language that you use with people as well, because I feel like when you speak things into existence, they will come back to you really quickly. This is heavy, like manifesting type energy. And then this Four of Pentacles, this is usually to me a stability, but this is also reflecting how things are working together. So it's like you may feel as if in some situations you're not specifically unique or entirely uniquely powerful in a situation, but this is showing you that a lot of the situations that you're entering into, and the first impression that you're making, show that the other people view you as equal, as an equal partner, as at the same level. You're energetically meeting a lot of the people that you are interacting with, and balanced. Yes, you are on the same level as a lot of the people that you are coming into contact with, that are being brought into your life, and that you are wanting to bring into your life as well. This is very balanced. And then also longevity. So like the people that are being brought into your life, if you have anyone new entering, is going to be there for a while. Like this is long term. And I feel like as well, it's something that, like, yes, you have been manifesting, but also it's divinely provided, in the way of the efforts that you've been making being recognized, but then also like a gift, of having a stable support system around you, to where you can feel free to look back into yourself, and know that you're representing yourself wholeheartedly, and being a really true version of yourself. That's really cool. And divine feminine. So you may be a female person, you don't have to be, but with this divine feminine, I'm getting, at least you're reflecting a feminine energy outwards. So that doesn't have to be mean that you are acting in a feminine way, but I feel like in terms of this, it's like attraction. You're very attractive, creative, creating things, inspiring others to be thinking about things. It's not necessarily inspiring people to take action. It may be inspiring other people's, the masculine form of other people's energy, which is an action-based type of energy. But this is really, feminine energy is creative energy, and it works to create things. So it's also, people are viewing you as someone who is softer. You have developed emotions. So that's why I feel like this is very physical energy rather than emotional, because you already have that balanced in some way. Right now you're working on balancing this physical. You're almost there with this 9, but you're like working on balancing the physical, what you bring in the physical, and then how that relates to others, and how you can also safeguard yourself from that being taken away from you. And then this final card for today is Gaia. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. So yeah, this is, people feel like you are really listening to everyone's perspective, and you're acting like, yes, this is this divine feminine. You're acting as a mother, nurturing, listening to everyone's perspectives and integrating them all together and being able to represent that really well. So honestly, group number 1, I think you're doing things well. You just need to be a little bit more discerning of who exactly you're letting into your life in a close personal relationship sense. But other than that, I think that'll conclude this reading. Thank you, Pile 1. Have a blessed day. Let me know if you have any concerns or questions in the comments. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Hello, Pile 2. If you picked Pile 2, this is going to be your reading on what impressions or energies am I putting forth and what am I receiving in return. So, we're starting with the Wild Unknown. Like I said before, I will have this deck linked in the description. So, okay, immediately the first card that I flipped over is 4 of Swords. Now usually this is something that is healing, but I'm really being drawn to also this image. This is pulling me to the third eye, and also operating, incorporating your lower chakras, like leadership qualities, in with the way that you talk and operate from your heart too. This is being communicated through these colors, this blue and this green, that are also reflected coming outside of this lamb. So the lamb is using their perception or their intuition, third eye chakra, to perceive the situations around them, and then in turn be a healer, and heal the energy around them to be one that's more one of compassion. Compassion is a really big aspect of who you are and the way that you affect the situations around you. 8 of Wands. Yes, this is communication, direct communication. Maybe saying the thing. Okay, so both of these are big. Okay, this is healing communication. This is just communication in general when I see it, or fast movement. And I feel like this also could be saying things to people that get them to recognize the shadow aspects of themselves as well, with all these shadows coming out from this strike. So it's like, I feel like the things that you say or the ways that you communicate with people really get them to see or self-reflect. Like, who am I in this situation? How am I making others feel? That compassion, how am I making others feel, is really important in the way that you're helping other people also wake up their third eye. I feel like your spirit is using the way that your energy is being received as a way to help people transform thought patterns, belief systems, anything like that. And then I feel like also sometimes you may feel a little bit restricted, like, do I have to say this? It's like a little bit of an internal battle with yourself. The third, the devil. This is not you. Don't be afraid. This is not who you are. You're not tied to things, I feel like, that are negative. Or, well, it could be that people see you as being someone who's possibly addicted to certain thought forms or patterns and behaviors, because everybody does struggle with their own types of vices. But I feel like also, as much as you personally may struggle with your own types of energies that are not serving you as well as they could, even if you're struggling through that, the way that you struggle is really helping other people who may be struggling with similar things or the same thing. And the way that you view the situation also really determines how other people are viewing this situation. So if you're questioning yourself a lot, it causes other people to question themselves a lot if they're in a similar situation. If you are really confident in your reasoning, other people may pick up on that confidence, feel, oh, this person's confident about this, I have nothing to worry about. And this, I think it's interesting that the colors go backward from grounding to perception. It's like you're affecting people in the way that they're perceiving this indigo purple color, their connection to source, their life path, getting them to really reevaluate who they are. And then we have 4 cards from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. The first one is Cosmic Flower. This definitely goes back with what I was just saying. Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. So yes, this is definitely you reminding people. It's almost like you're a method or a mode of activation in other people. Source, spirit, God, whatever you believe sent us here. Even if you don't believe someone sent us here, the transformative energy that moves us forward, chariot energy, is trying to get humanity to remember our home values, compassion, understanding, deep listening, the joy that just comes from being alive, and respect for life in general. Soul time. Yes, getting people to reflect on how much time they are spending on this earth. I feel like you may be in contact a lot with older people as well. And this gets them to look at how their energy is infinite. It affects people across whether they're in that moment or not. So when you interact with somebody, the energy that you give them can carry into other manifestations of their reality beyond when you first interact with that person. So the amount of mortal time that we have in these physical incarnations of our human spirit, like our human bodies, sometimes that can be really awoken to people and be like, oh, I only have a couple, like 20 more years here, or 10 more years, or maybe even less than that, because lifespan is so relative. But people may really come to terms with their own mortality and morality, how their morals are inherently affecting the way that their life is being lived and carried out. It's like big wake-up call, like tower, almost, like you're being a tower in terms of people. Romantic love. Yes, you show people romantic love in a way that doesn't have to just be romantic. Like, it doesn't have to be wooing somebody. It can be in a form of friendship, being an attentive and perceptive friend, someone who really remembers the significant things about people, even in passing. Like, I'm remembering details. That's a sign of compassion for others. And checking in on them about important life events. I feel like this is something that you can do with people often, even if like you don't know them all that well. People are surprised by that, and they really appreciate that. Like, oh, this person remembered that one small thing that I told them like 2 weeks ago when we met, and we haven't talked since. Like, it's really cool that they asked me about that the next time they saw me, that kind of a thing. And then finally, to finish this out, we have allowance. So the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. I feel like this is not necessarily what you're putting out, but what the universe is asking you to let in. Allow for the universe to bring things in, and don't have control. Control is something that a lot of times we get caught up in, especially with manifesting. And in our manifestations, asking the universe, oh, I really want this, I desire this, I desire this. And it's like, desires allow us to also feel the suffering when that desire may not be met in the way that we're expecting it to be met. Expectations also fall in with desires. So this allowance clears you up and opens you energetically to appreciate whatever comes your way, because appreciation is subjective and relative and tied to how you view unexpected changes or things that you maybe didn't ask for in your life. So thank you, pile 2. Keep doing what you're doing, and remember that Spirit is providing for you. Just allow it to come in naturally. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me or reach out. All my information is in the description below. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next reading. Pile 3, hello. If you chose pile 3, this is going to be your reading of what energies or impressions am I giving off immediately when I first come into contact with others. So to start, I have the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I've used before, and that will be linked in my description below. So let's start. I'm not going to read reversals today. I just decided that ahead of time, so I'm not changing anything by flipping these around. 3 of Swords. I want to get a couple more of these out before I start interpreting, because I feel like they all tell a story together, which is different than the other piles that I did, but that's just what I'm feeling for this. Son of Cups, and in this deck, this kind of equates to the Page of Cups, 7 of Cups, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. So I'm not gonna lie, this is heavy, and it's kind of a gut-wrenching feeling. So I get feelings a lot when I tap into energy, because I'm clairsentient, and that just means that I feel sensations from Source, Spirit, the Divine, but that doesn't matter. Right now I am feeling very heavy in my stomach. and this is like anxiety as well. I feel like a lot of you may have some kind of mental health complication. It's not like a full-blown disorder or struggle, which if you do, I have my condolences, because I understand how that affects daily life and daily life practices. But there's some amount of heartbreak that's keeping you from moving forward. That's why this heartbreak wanted to be the first card to come out. It's like, this is the overshadowing energy that I feel like you're letting kind of taint whatever you're putting out there. And the Son of Cups, usually I would see this as positive more often than not, because of the light that's coming out of the cup and the colors. But right now I feel like this is almost all of the colors of you being sucked into the cup and being turned into something dark, because this depth here. And it's like emotional to a fault. Crying in public often, which there's nothing wrong with crying in public. I cry in public all the time, and I think it's important to be able to be transparent with your emotions, but it's like excessive. Being overly expressive with emotions, but it's like uncontrolled too, or feeling like you can't get a grapple of it, or like everyone around you feels, it's like subconsciously you feel like everyone around you can tell that you're in this emotion, that you feel this emotion, but nobody else is going to know exactly. They'll feel it a little, but most of that is in your own head and the own belief system that you're working off of right now. So this Seven of Cups, this is brokenness. Also, this big mountain is being called to my attention. It's like you're seeing all these things that are broken at your feet, and then you see where you have to go, this big huge journey. It's like a big mountain, a big obstacle that you see, rather than seeing it as a journey, as a method for learning, growth. Struggle is not always bad. I heard something the other day, I can't remember what book it's from, but it's about loving the struggle that you're in. If you don't love the struggle, like the pleasure and the pain of something that you're going after, it's probably not the correct thing for you. If somebody loves every aspect of something, they're going to love even the bad parts about it. And here we have Five of Swords. So this could be manifesting some kind of drama in your relationship. People misunderstanding you, miscommunications. When you say something, you feel like nobody is actually hearing what you're really trying to say. Friends aren't aligning with you. It's like even the people that you feel like should know you the best, it's like they're not seeing what's really happening and what you're really going through, because you're holding yourself back. You're keeping this Three of Swords to yourself. It's like there's something here that you need to open up about more and be this Son of Cups, like Page of Cups, expressing your emotion, but less immature. Don't expect people to intuitively just know what you're going through. You need to be able to communicate that a lot better. And then, this Seven of Swords, I feel like it's a little separated from the rest, because I feel like this is more in terms of people that know you a little bit better. And then this is, you're not able to connect in a real way with people that you don't know already, I feel like, at this stage in your life, because, this is an 8, sorry, 8 of Swords. Because you're metaphorically in this cocoon, you are closing yourself off to certain things, but also it's like a protection type thing. You know that you have to undergo some kind of transformation in order to get to where you want to be, but you're holding yourself back in a way because people know that you are hiding something off. You're like closed off. And so any opportunities even that are good, that want to come into your life, they feel reserved, or like, I don't want to overstep. This person really does not want me around. yeah, there's a lot of like self-sabotage I feel like going on, and just expecting disappointment. So these 2 cards, they're from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle, and I feel like these cards came out because they knew that these ones were heavier and a little bit of a harsher message. I don't like delivering a message that's kind of like you're doing something wrong, because nobody likes to hear what they're doing wrong. They want to know what they're doing right. But part of understanding how to do something correctly is to understand what isn't serving right now. So, as much as that was painful for me to have to communicate, there is better things on the horizon. So healing, yes. Focus on your own healing and what heals you. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic, this is internal, shadow work, ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. Meditation, even for like 5 minutes in a day, would be so beneficial for you, because it gets you to calm down what's going on and detach yourself from the thoughts. If you're doing it properly, try and do a guided meditation. Don't just try and go by yourself and just sit there, because I can tell you from experience that's not going to help you heal. Unless you have specific guideline thoughts and mantras laid out and like affirmations that you want to be repeating in your head, it's gonna be really hard for you to clear things out, especially if you're in this 3 of Swords, like focused on past hurts. And in order to be able to heal yourself, you're gonna need to be able to really touch those things that are hurting, because there are things that are hurting, and that's manifesting these gossip, miscommunications, drama, feeling closed off or isolated from the rest of the world. And then delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. Focusing on things that you know make you feel good, even if it doesn't have to necessarily be like something that you know is good for you, like I guess health-wise, even like having a glass of wine, or lighting up a joint. Like, those things aren't technically supported by medical research as like something that's good for you, but if it helps you relax in moderation, like doing things that bring you delight, but you don't have to rely on like a substance, I guess, per se, but also even like taking a bath, meeting with friends that you don't have to have a really serious conversation with, like where the things are lighthearted. It's also important, these colors that are being reflected, the red, the orange, and the yellow. Red is a base, like grounding color, one that brings you in contact with family type things, things that keep you connected to earth, and your life purpose as well, because our life purpose is to be served out on earth. And then orange, it's attraction, vitality of life, your vibrancy, the attractive energy that you're putting forth, and that is surrounded, it all comes down into your grounding, how you relate to yourself, and you view yourself in terms of the other things that you're pushing out, whether that be the way that you're leading others, the example you're setting, or the things that you want. So coming into contact with yourself and healing also will help you understand what you want, what you desire, what you do not desire, what you do not want, and then trying to align those things with yourself energetically. Definitely healing and prosperity and happiness are coming to you. You just need to figure out how you can work on yourself to bust out of this cocoon. so that you're not stuck over here wrapped up. These are both restricted cards. Heavy Swords energy too. So work on communicating, but with yourself. That's really important. Love and light to pile 3, and to all other piles that watch this video, in case you're still tuned in. So, without a further ado, that concludes this video. I'll see you in the next one. If you have any inquiries, suggestions, just want to chat, my contact information is in the description. You know what to do. Have a blessed day. Thank you.